Hey team, we are back for another episode on the Weight Loss for Women 40 Plus podcast with Josh, and we are answering the age-old question: is diet or exercise more important when it comes to losing weight? And no, I'm not going to say it's both, and that's the end of the podcast. It's not a trick question. We're actually going to dive into it and have a look at both of these side of things to make sure that you have all the answers to get to your goal. So obviously there's two parts of this, two primary parts. We've got the exercise component, and when I say exercise, I mean actual exercise. I don't mean going for a fucking walk with your dog that stops 50 times. That is not exercise. That is what we call non-exercise activity. So things like your very gentle walking, doing shit around the house, picking up the kids, cleaning, your work life. That's not exercise. That's just activity and movement. So when I'm talking about exercise, I'm talking about like going to the gym, yoga. Oh, fuck, do I include yoga? Let's not include yoga. I don't think that's fucking exercise. Pilates, running, workouts, the gym, classes, hitting the weights, working out from home, boot camps, all that kind of stuff. So that's what we're going to class as exercise. And diet, it's just going to be the food and liquid that you drink and eat, goes into your body. So the main overarching rule of weight loss is that you have to be in a calorie deficit. Now, you might have heard this term 1,000 times. You might know what it means. You might not. A calorie deficit means if your body burns 2,000 calories in the day from being alive for 24 hours, you did some workouts, you did some walking, you fucked around the house, you burnt 2,000 calories in a 24-hour period, and then you consumed, let's say, 1,500 calories. That means your body burnt 2,000 calories, but you only put 1,500 into the machine, into the body. That means there's a minus 500 calorie deficit. So you burn 2,000, you only ate 1,500. Where does the 500 come from? Well, the 500 calories will come from what is stored within the body. This could be the body fat. This could be muscle. It could be proteins. These are the main kind of things that it can be. So when you are losing weight, you're not just losing body fat. Sometimes your body is breaking down skin that's no longer needed through autophagy. So you're breaking down proteins, converting that into energy. You could be breaking down glycogen, which is your stored sugars, the carbohydrates. You could be breaking down the body fat and blah, blah, blah. So when you are in a calorie deficit, the deficit of energy has to come from the body somewhere. Where we want it to come from is going to be the body fat. That way we lose body fat, we look leaner, we look more toned, we look amazing. Where you don't want it to come from is the muscle. You don't want to keep body fat and lose muscle because you get skinny fat, you look terrible, nobody's happy. So that's calorie deficit in a nutshell. Have definitely gone a lot deeper into that in other podcasts. So feel free to scroll back and have a look through. But so it makes sense for today, is the diet or the exercise the most important thing? I can sum this up in one sentence. You can lose weight without exercise, but you can't lose weight without a calorie deficit. So technically speaking, if you don't work out, that doesn't mean you won't lose weight. You can lose weight without working out. So to really nail this podcast in fucking one sentence, the diet is the most important part of losing weight. Because I've talked to so many ladies over the years that are working out 4, 5, 6 times a week. I've talked to ladies that work out twice a day and they're not losing weight. So they're ticking the workout box. They're like smashing the workouts, they're crushing the steps, the activity levels are super high, and they're still not losing weight. And I've worked with ladies that have lost significant amounts of weight without doing any actual, like going to the gym workouts or working out from home. They've just done some simple walking. They get their steps up throughout the day and they're controlling the calorie intake, which is annoying because most people think, well, if I just get the right workout routine, I'm going to lose weight, which is not false. Like, yeah, it's a contributing factor, but it's not the factor that's going to make up all the difference. Like, Like for example, let's say you got your car. Like, will your car run without windscreen wiper fluid? Well, yeah, it's going to run. Does it help the running of the vehicle? Well, yeah, it does. It does help, and it's nice to have, and it definitely makes the windscreen a lot easier to look through when you clean it and you get the bugs off it. But it's not going to impact the car actually operating. And it's the same thing with weight loss. Like, exercise isn't going to be the thing that stops you from losing weight. It's definitely going to contribute. It's definitely really fucking good to have because there's 1,000 benefits from it. From building muscle, when you have more muscle, you have a greater metabolism or higher BMR, basic metabolic rate. It helps with mood, mental health. You will live longer. You get strength, bone density, and the list continues. So yeah, it's definitely a component of losing weight. But in short, you can get away without it. Now, you'd actually have to be really good with your food, and you'd have to have a very high level of activity throughout the day. Like, you'd have to be walking 10 to 20,000 steps per day, every single day, 7 days a week. Your calorie deficit have to be pristine, meaning that you know exactly how many calories you're burning, you know exactly how much you're eating, so you have a very controlled calorie deficit. It's definitely a harder way to do it, but you can get it done. Now, do I personally recommend that you try to lose weight without exercise? Fuck no. You're going to be miserable. That sucks. You just can't really burn enough calories unless you're smacking out that really consistent 10 to 20,000 steps per day. Like, you just won't burn enough calories. It'd just be physiologically impossible. This is why most people that don't exercise, they more maintain their weight. They're not gaining it, they're not losing it, they're not seeing great progress, but they're not necessarily getting much worse because they've got a high enough activity to kind of maintain their shape and the amount of food that they eat. So, even though that answers the age-old question, if you try to lose weight without exercise, I personally believe you're setting yourself up for failure. Now, this is not just opinion. This is based off working with over 2,000 ladies in the last 5 years and the team of coaches that we have and myself. And we find the ladies that do exercise see faster results. They have better results. So it's not just because you can't have better lost a kilogram. When I say better results, they look better at the end. Because let's really cut to it. The ultimate goal is to look good, aesthetically pleasing to yourself. You either feel like you're feeling good in the clothes, and it's not even actually about the clothes. Like, yes, the clothes is a part of it, but you can hide many of your flaws with clothes. You know the cut, you know the style, you know the right sizing, you know the right colors, all that kind of shit. Whereas when it's just you in front of the mirror, you've jumped out of the shower, butt naked, you cannot hide that shit. So the ultimate goal is looking at yourself in the mirror and you being okay with that. Who cares what weight that you are? Excuse me. If that's 50, if it's 60, if it's 80, if it's 100, whatever. As long as you are happy with what you see, that's the ultimate goal for everybody. So if we really boiled it down to it, the aesthetics is a big part of it. And yes, there's 100 subset of those goals as well. You want to be able to hike, you want to be healthy, you don't want to get sick, you want to live longer, you want to play with your kids, you want to play with your grandkids. Yes, I get it. There's hundreds and hundreds of other goals to that as well. But the main thing is having that body that you feel okay with. Because how we look affects how we feel. And if you're looking at something that visibly disturbs you multiple times a day, what kind of impact is that going to have on your mental health? Probably not going to be a great impact. Whereas if you're looking at something that is aesthetically pleasing, how's that going to make you feel? Well, let's have a look. Do you like looking at art? Do you like looking at a neat room? Do you like looking at the bed that's made, the house that's tidy, clothes that look nice, fashion, a nice car, whatever, aesthetic of your house, your backyard? When you look at things and they make you feel good, it makes you happy. Why would your body be any different? And this is the one thing that you 100% have ownership over, is your body and power. So at the core of it, everybody is out there to look at something aesthetically pleasing. And when it's your body, that's going to be one of the most prouder achievements that you can have. So that's the goal. So I wouldn't recommend trying to lose weight without exercise because you will not get the most aesthetically pleasing version of yourself. There are plenty of ladies that are skinny and at their goal weight and they don't look good. They look gaunt, they look drawn in, they look sickly. Just because you're 55 kilograms or 60 or 65 doesn't mean you're going to look good. The main thing is, do you have the tone and the shape down pat? The only way you're going to get that, you're not going to get it from yoga, you're not going to get it from going for runs, you're not going to get it from walking. You're going to get that from resistance training. So that's weights, some classes, Pilates, not too bad, but it's mainly just doing the weights. If I'm going to be honest, it's doing the weights. I don't care if it's at home or it's at the gym or it's in someone's fucking backyard or at a boot camp in the park. It doesn't matter. As long as there's weights involved, you're going to have far better results compared to the lady that loses the same amount of weight as you, but she doesn't use the weights. So use the weights, kick the goals, get it down right, get it pat. Now, if you're like, okay, cool, I understand that, the diet side of things is more important than the exercise, but I'm confused on both, then maybe it's time to reach out, get a coach. Like I always say, I don't even care if it's with us or someone else. You're going to pick the person that has got the result that you want, not for themselves. This is the biggest mistake. Don't go try and find the coach that you want to look like. It's not going to work. Like, for example, if I want to go find a really jacked up bodybuilder dude, I'm not going to pick him as my coach because he might have really crazy genetics, but his process sucks. Or the way that he gets results for other people sucks. Just because someone has got the result for them doesn't mean that their methodology and process is going to work for you. So you want to find the coach who has got the result that you want for more than 100 other people. That way you know the coach is a really good coach and they're not just good at coaching themselves. Because I have seen coaches, literally, the most jacked guys in the gym eat hot dogs and fucking party pies and look amazing. And when I talk to him, I'm like, oh man, what are you doing? How do you look so good? And he's like, this is what I do. I'm like, oh, you're actually a fucking idiot. And you've got no idea. And you're just born with fucking a Greek god's body. Obviously puts in a lot of hard work, but just has no fucking idea. Just works hard, eats like shit, looks amazing. And a lot of people are like this. So you don't go look for the person that, go get coached by the person you want to look like, because some people just don't have to put in much effort. You want to find the coach that has proven their track record more than 100 times with your demographic. So if I'm a 30-year-old bloke, I'm not going to go find a coach that works with women only and then go, hey, can you coach me? Because not their wheelhouse. Even Usain Bolt, the world's fastest man running coach, was overweight. But he had proven track record that he could make champions. He had the skills and he had the knowledge. He didn't have to look like a fucking runner himself. He just had to prove that he could get people to where they wanted to be with his coaching style. That's what you want to look for. So nice and easy. If you want help, reach out. Hit us up. Instagram, Josh Humphreys on Instagram, www.blissbodyu.com.au. If you really want to fast track that, fill out the application form halfway down the page. It'll come straight to me. We'll have a look. We'll reach out and we'll see if we can help you as well. All right. Lots of love. Go kick goals and I'll catch you in the next one.